Hello, there we are. And good morning. And today I'm talking about accepting international, got my notes today, accepting international payments through PayPal. And I'm just going to actually remember to turn that round. There we go. Today I'm going to talk about accepting international payments through PayPal. It's a question I get asked about an awful lot. It's say most of us we do accept payments through PayPal some of the time, if not necessarily all of the time, and quite often they're from abroad, and what to do with that and how to do it in your accounts. Hello. So that's what I'm covering today. So I say I'm Rosie Slosek of onemanbandaccounting.co.uk. And all the links that I'm going to talk about today, there's more information and a bit more details about this actually on onemanbandaccounting.co.uk/periscope, and the link's in my profile, so just go and have a look. And I help one freelancers who love cake in the UK, and I help them with via retreat coaching and courses. So accepting international payments through PayPal. So first thing you need to know is actually what do you need from the PayPal payments. So first of all, sometimes you're only actually accepting international payments occasionally through PayPal. So I mean occasionally for you, depending on how many transactions you have. It might be once a month, it could be once a week, it could just be a few times a year. So you have that, and it's not really a thing. So yes, it's a good idea to know what you're going to do with it, but it's not so much of a consideration than if actually you're having them all the time. So the next thing is whether or not they are regular. So by regular, I mean, for example, I have some clients who it doesn't happen very often. I don't know people. It doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, it's like a regular thing rather than just every once in a while. So, for example, you have a client who is abroad who pays you on a regular basis rather than you just, for example, somebody in the States buys an ebook, somebody in France buys an ebook, somebody in America pays for your coaching through PayPal. Now, of course, all of this actually assumes that you can actually, of course, charge in sterling for this as well, so we'll get back to on a little bit later, but this is assuming that the payment you're actually charging in a foreign currency and you're receiving the money in a foreign currency into your PayPal account. So because obviously you can still receive payments for anybody anywhere in the world and have that payment be in sterling. So we're talking about euros coming into your account, we're talking about American dollars coming into your account, Australian dollars. So the first thing is, how regular is the payment? I mean, as in, is it occasional? Does it happen quite frequently? And that partly depends on for your business. Second one is regular. Is it a frequent payment coming in on a regular basis, or is it just your people are buying it on a regular basis? Irregular for them. And the third one is the size of the payment, because obviously here someone buying, say, a 99 cents ebook is a completely different category to someone actually paying for your VIP day, for several $1,000s through PayPal. That is a completely different thing, and I'm not going to get into chargebacks or any of that kind of thing, but that is something to actually look at. On my the link for this is onemanbandaccounting.com/periscope. There's a link already there. You can go and have a look now if you like. So it's getting paid, ways for people to give you money, and I go into a bit more details about actually all sorts of ways that people can give you money. So you can go and have a look at all the different ways for there. But principally, there are different ways of people sending you that, and you just need to be aware of the different ways, and there's advantages and disadvantages. So again, with all of this, chargebacks and all that kind of stuff do exist, and you just need to be aware of it. Today, I'm just going to look into, if you are using PayPal, actually just the mechanics of actually accepting the international payments. So the three things for what do you need is it just occasional? Is it regular? Hi, Pascal. And three, basically, it's the size of the payment. Is it sort of 99 cents, $99, or, how is it, $5,000? All of these things make quite a bit of difference as to actually how you might be want to accept money through PayPal and what exactly you're going to do with it, which is the next thing we're going to get onto. So I'm just going to swap my hands over. I have yet to use a tripod. So these actually considerations about what you're going to do. So the first thing is, when you've got the money in your PayPal account, you have two options. And the options are, you can convert that foreign currency into sterling, which is pounds, English pounds. And the other thing you can do is to actually keep a currency balance. Yes, that's the one. Thanks, Pascal. So Pascal's just put up my the link. As I say, you've got a choice here, and part of this is what you do with it actually does depend on the other questions you're looking at, which whether it's occasional, whether it's a regular payment, and to a certain extent how much that regular payment is, and again the size of the payment. So this is partly where how you run your business comes in. There's no real right or wrong about any of this. There's two considerations. One is what's right for you and your business, and the other one is fees. Fees are a big thing on PayPal. I'm not going to go into the joyousness of fees on PayPal today, but I think I'll probably do another video on that one. So it's whether to convert to sterling, pounds, or whether to actually keep a currency balance. So I'm going to go in a few things to do with this, and just to give you an idea about actually what might be the best situation for you. So for me, when I receive money coming in euros or American dollars, it doesn't happen very often, and if it does, it's a very small amount. So when I see it come in, I just convert it to sterling straight away, and the sterling amount that it's converted to is what I will put in my bookkeeping. We're going to skim over the conversion rates for PayPal and that one. They're not great, but the main thing is like anything else. You need to get the sale, and you need to do what's important for the people paying you. So even though the PayPal conversion rates aren't very good, that's the way they are. So it's actually quite simple. If you're going to do that, you just convert it into sterling. You just basically click the buttons in PayPal, and they'll do it for you, and that's what you put in your bookkeeping. So it's not complicated, and if you're sole trading doing your self-assessment, none of this actually counts as foreign income. It all goes in the self-employed section. So, and the next thing is when it might be an idea to keep a currency balance. Now, if you're being paid on a regular basis by a particular client, you've got a couple of options. It partly depends on how much admin you want, and partly just a choice. What you could do is to keep that balance until the contract is finished, or if it's an ongoing contract, to actually just convert it on a regular basis. Basically, to actually keep that balance and then just convert it periodically when the contract is finished. If you might want to keep an eye on what's happening with, generally speaking, with the exchange rate, if it's more money. Of course, PayPal have their own exchange rate, but generally speaking, if you're going to get a better exchange rate, it might be a better idea to do that then. Put my notes down. Now, possibly the exception to this is if you have regular, larger amounts, and this is larger for your business as well, larger amounts coming in, you may actually want to keep a currency balance. Now, this is basically more work for your bookkeeping, but it can save you quite a bit of money. And if you are traveling if you're working while you're traveling, this can actually make a big difference. So, for example, I have a few clients, and what they've deliberately kept a foreign currency balance because they are in the country of the foreign currency balance, which is one reason why they're receiving it for some people. And it's a lot easier for them to actually do that. Another reason why you might keep one is if you're actually paying quite a lot out yourself. I say this is a lot more work because you have to keep track of all of this in sterling. What's my favourite payment method and why? Oh, that's a whole nother discussion. If you go to the onemanbandaccounting.co.uk/periscope, there is a link up there which is part of a 10-part Getting Paid series. If you go to there, you can actually have a look at all the posts in there, and you can actually have a look to see, I've got some articles up on different payments method online. So it's down to the currency balance. So again, if you're traveling, sometimes people call them digital nomads, but we get into the lands of whether or not somebody's tax resident in the UK and all for that. So basically, if you're abroad quite a lot and you're traveling while you're working, or the other way around, then you might want to keep that currency balance, because you can make payments actually from that. So for example, a lot of the payments I make through PayPal are for example, in US dollars. And if you've got money coming in US dollars, you can actually save you money in fees to pay those using that balance. But of course, you still need to put it through your accounts, and you have to be a lot more on the ball about your admin to actually be able to do that. So let's have a look. Now, yes, the final thing is fees, basically. PayPal charge a lot in fees. But I would say primarily, yes, there's some hearts for that one, but I'm not sure it's probably for the fees. PayPal charge an awful lot in fees, but primarily when you're always just talking about actually your clients and receiving money, it's, to be honest, fees don't need to be actually the first consideration. They're very important. The first consideration is what's easiest for you to get paid. And quite often PayPal is it, even for actually higher levels of payments. There are alternatives like TransferWise and that kind of thing, but quite often, even the lower fee paying ones, with PayPal you can set up you can accept reoccurring payments. There's so many more options. So despite all the problems and despite the higher cost, it cannot quite often actually be the easiest way of you actually receiving money, both in the sense that you're going to be paid a lot easier, and it's a lot easier for people to pay in your business. They will trust it a lot more because people trust PayPal. And that's what's most important. So you need to decide that. If it's somebody you know, or you've got a relationship with them, or it's a bigger company, you might want to use a different service. But primarily, you need to look at whether PayPal actually is the right thing, and usually whether you want to use it or not, pretty much usually is, or it's the easiest, considering we are talking about money going from country to country, which is not the easiest thing in the world, and there's lots of rules about it. But the main thing with the fees is to know what they are. So for example, with PayPal, you'll be charged a fee. If your client has paid by a credit card, you'll be charged a fee. You'll be charged a fee for the international currency conversion. And what's that? Do you have to declare the payment? Yes, you do have to declare the payment if you're a business. I said if you're using it for, it's not really a business and you're just accepting some money for something titchy you sold on eBay, then we're not talking about that. This is business. But yes, you do, because it's income. If you're a sole trader and there's not that much, relatively speaking, going for your business, so we're talking sort of like £20,000-30,000, then often an easy way of doing it is to actually total up. If we're talking about smaller amounts, often you need all those PayPal records, you need to keep them, but you can often actually just put the total in your spreadsheet. So you have all the records, but you don't have all the details in your spreadsheet. Can't do that with a limited company. But to the fees, basically there's the conversion fee, there is the fee receiving it, which I say isn't actually any different than if you were receiving it in your own currency. And like I said, PayPal don't actually use the standard currency conversion. They use a different currency conversion, which obviously I make no comment on whatsoever. But it's often not as good. But again, it's all about, you've got the sale and what's easiest. But just be aware of that. And the next thing is what's tax deductible. And the answer is all of it. All the PayPal fees are all tax deductible. Even if you're using a personal account for business, and if you're interested in that actually I haven't got it yet up, but I'll put it up. I do have a blog post about that. You can go and have a look about payment and bank accounts for business. But even if you're using a personal account for your sole trader business, then those fees still are tax deductible, all of them. So, which is nice. So don't get too wound up in the fees. The main thing is always bringing money into your business. And once that's all settled and your business is bigger, then again, you can go and look at different options. So I said, if there's interest, we're actually going to do next week. I'm going to do actually looking at other international payment options that aren't PayPal, and say advantages and disadvantages and all that kind of thing. So come back next week. Say it's been accepting international payments through PayPal. I will put the replay of this up later this week. And is any other questions? No. Right, brilliant. So I'm Rosie Slosick, and I help one-man bands who like cake in the UK to become unstuck about tax and accounts so they can grow their business. And I offer retreat coaching and courses. So